Bunun da doğrusunu bilmemizde fayda var. Teşekkür ediyorum.
When the Turkish president last visited Germany, specifically to meet the Chancellor, Angela Merkel was in charge. There had been no COVID pandemic, no war in Ukraine, but now fighting in the Middle East is dominating the international agenda. An international summit was held in Saudi Arabia at the weekend as efforts to bring the fighting to an end continue.
It's important that we turn this crisis into a permanent solution to the Palestinian issue. As long as the Palestinian issue is ignored, any effort for normalization in the region will be fruitless. The way to a permanent solution to the problem is by removing the main causes. This is only possible by establishing a sovereign Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital and within the 1967 borders. This would provide peace not only for Palestine, but the whole region, including Israel.
But that's not the only thing on the agenda in Germany. There's the PKK terrorist organisation and affiliated groups like the YPG. The first of those is also a terrorist group in Germany, but the second isn't, and Ankara wants Berlin to take a harder line. Germany already has strong links with Turkey. There are almost 3 million people of Turkish roots living here. It's also one of Turkey's biggest trading partners and the biggest economy in the European Union. And that's why the Turkish president may broach subjects such as refugees and how to re-energise Turkey-EU relations. But the fighting and destruction in Gaza is likely to take up much of the talks. And the differences between Western countries and much of the rest of the world on how to proceed. The German Chancellor attended a recent EU leaders' summit, saying that Israel has a right to defend itself and calling for more aid for the Palestinians, but making no demand for a ceasefire.
Now, it is also about us making it clear together that we support Israel in the defense of its own territory against the awful attack by Hamas. This was an awful, brutal attack which went against all principles of humanity, on children, on families, on young and old people. And therefore, it is important that we maintain a common position. I am convinced that will be the case, as well how we will work for all the hostages to be freed and for humanitarian support for the citizens of Gaza.
As the Palestinian death toll has escalated, calls from the Arab and Muslim majority states for a ceasefire have become louder and for Israel to be investigated for war crimes. The Turkish government has been pushing its own peace plan at international fora, a peace summit leading to a two-state solution with other states acting as guarantors. The Turkish president will be hoping to convince the German leader that a ceasefire is a step in the right direction. Andrew Hopkins, TRT World, Berlin.